6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Director General ISPR says Pakistan's desire for peace should not be misconstrued as its weakness, as the armed forces are fully committed to defend every inch of the motherland. The Speaker of Punjab Assembly has constituted a parliamentary committee for the selection of caretaker chief minister of the province. The Frontier Corps killed 3 terrorists in an encounter in Kohlu district today. In occupied Kashmir, the Hurriyat Forum says killings, arrests and use of brute force by the Indian forces continued unabated despite ceasefire claim by the Indian authorities. At least 14 people were killed in a suicide attack in the Afghan capital Kabul today. And now the news in detail. The Director General Inter-Services Public Relations Major General Asif Ghafoor says Pakistan's desire for peace should not be misconstrued as its weakness, as the armed forces are fully committed to defend every inch of the motherland. Addressing a news conference in Rawalpindi this afternoon, he said India is continuously violating ceasefire agreement despite reiteration of the commitment during the recent hotline interaction between the Directors General Military Operations of the two countries. The ISPR chief said Pakistan Army honored the agreement, but both the Indian security forces and the media acted irresponsibly, and ceasefire along the working boundary was violated by Indian forces even last night. He said India has so far committed 1,577 violations along the line of control and the working boundary this year, martyring 48 civilians and wounding 265 others. He said the Pakistan Army responds to the Indian firing when civilians are targeted. Major General Asif Ghafoor said India should realize that war between the two nuclear powers is no solution to their issues, and it must demonstrate positivity respecting the ceasefire agreement. The Election Commission of Pakistan has started the process of receiving nomination papers from candidates for the general elections scheduled to be held on the 25th of next month. A spokesperson of the Election Commission told our correspondent that the returning officers are receiving nomination papers in the respective areas. Friday is the last day for filing of nomination papers, while the Election Commission of Pakistan will publish the names of the candidates the same day. According to the Election Commission schedule, scrutiny of nomination papers by the returning officers will be conducted by the 14th of this month. The last date for filing of appeals against decisions of returning officers regarding acceptance or rejection of nomination papers is the 19th of this month. Revised list of candidates will be published on the 27th of this month. Candidates can withdraw their candidature by the 28th of the current month, and then the final list of the candidates will be published the same day. The Speaker of Punjab Assembly, Rana Muhammad Iqbal Khan, has constituted a parliamentary committee for the selection of the caretaker chief minister. According to the spokesman of the Punjab Assembly, the meeting of the committee will be held on Wednesday at the Assembly Secretariat in Lahore. According to details, Rana Sanaullah Khan, Khwaja Imran Nazir, Malik Muhammad Ahmed Khan are the members of the committee from the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, whereas Mahmood Rashid, Muhammad Sibtan Khan and Muhammad Shoaib Siddiqui are its members from the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. The committee will finalize the name of the caretaker chief minister within 3 days. Retired Admiral Muhammad Zakaullah and retired Mr. Justice Muhammad Said Ali have been nominated from the PMLN side, while Professor Hassan Askari and Ayaz Amir are the nominees of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. The Chief Justice of Pakistan, Mr. Justice Mia Saqib Nisar, has said the general elections will be held on time at all costs. He made the remarks while hearing a petition of the Workers' Party in Islamabad today. The Chief Justice said the Parliament is a representative institution and it has the right to frame laws. The Election Commission officials told the Apex Court that the Election Code of Conduct has been prepared in consultation with the political parties. The caretaker Prime Minister, retired Mr. Justice Nasir al-Mulk, was given a briefing on foreign affairs in Islamabad today. The Foreign Secretary Tahmina Janjwa, who was accompanied by senior officials of the ministry, briefed the Prime Minister on different aspects of the foreign policy. The Prime Minister was also given a briefing on the state of the economy. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Mujahid Anwar Khan, called on the caretaker Prime Minister, retired Mr. Justice Nasser al-Mulk, in Islamabad today and discussed professional matters pertaining to the Pakistan Air Force. The Air Chief also felicitated Nasser al-Mulk on assuming the office of the caretaker Prime Minister. This is Radio Pakistan. President Mamnoon Hussain has said Pakistan is keen to enhance bilateral relations with Belarus in the fields of trade and agriculture. Talking to Pakistan's envoy designate to Belarus, Lina Salim Moazzam, in Islamabad today, he said there exists huge potential to strengthen relations between the two countries. President Mamnoon Hussain said Pakistan gives utmost importance to its relations with Belarus as both the countries enjoy fraternal relations. Meanwhile, talking to the outgoing ambassador of Greece, Dimitrios Zoitos, in Islamabad today, President Mamnoon Hussain said Pakistan enjoys close relations with Greece. He stressed for further promotion of relations with Greece in the fields of industry, trade and communications. In Balochistan, 3 terrorists were killed while another was arrested during an encounter with the Frontier Corps in Kohlu district today. According to security forces, the deceased terrorists were involved in landmine attacks on innocent citizens in the area. In occupied Kashmir, the midwives-led Hurriyat Forum has said Kashmiri people are boiling with anger against India and its local ruling dispensation in the territory. A statement issued in Srinagar by the Midwives Forum pointed out that killings, arrest and use of brute force by Indian forces to suppress the Kashmiri struggle continued unabated despite the ceasefire claim by the Indian authorities. Meanwhile, at least 12 civilians and 4 policemen, including a station house officer, were injured in a grenade blast in Shupaiya district today. The grenade exploded at Batapur Chowk in the district. The incident triggered clashes between protesters and the Indian troops in Shupaiya. Scores of youths pelted stones on the troops deployed in the town. The troops used force and fired tear gas shells to disperse the protesters. In Kabul, at least 14 people were killed and 2 policemen injured when a suicide bomber tried to hit a gathering of religious scholars. According to the police, the bombing happened soon after the clerics had issued a fatwa against suicide bombings and called for peace talks to end the ongoing war. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. The Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu has said implementation of a roadmap for the withdrawal of the Kurdish terrorists from the northern Syrian city of Manbij is expected to begin after his meeting with American counterpart Mike Pompeo. Speaking at a reception in Washington, he said the American support for the PKK terrorist organization in Syria is one of the most important issues creating a dispute between Ankara and Washington. He said Turkey strives for a political solution in Syria and rejects all efforts towards dividing Syria. The Turkish foreign minister said a negative atmosphere against Turkey had been created at the American Congress over the delivery of the F-35 fifth-generation fighter jets to Ankara. In Palestine, another Palestinian was martyred by the Israeli troops at the Gaza border. Since March 30th, Israeli troops have martyred more than 120 Palestinians during mass demonstrations along the Gaza border, drawing international condemnation. The Palestinians say most of the dead and thousands wounded were unarmed civilians, and Israel used excessive force against them. And now news about sports. Pakistan have announced T20 squad for the 2-match series against Scotland to be played on the 12th and 13th of this month. Sarfaraz Ahmed will lead the team, while Haris Sohail will replace Babar Azam, who was injured during the Lord Cricket Test. And finally, the weather. Very hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, gusty hot winds are expected in upper parts of the Punjab, while rain thunderstorm has been forecast with gusty winds at few places in Kashmir and its adjoining hilly areas. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also log on to, rather, you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.